car, beat them to death, you rape them. Most people regard that.
The story of Psycho Killer, the series features investigative reporter David Scott interviewing convicted murderers in high-security prisons. One notable episode, Psycho Killer, features Gary Michael Hilton, who is described as the oldest serial killer in American history. Hilton is on death row in Florida for the murders of 4 people, including Meredith Emerson, abducted in 2008. The series aims to provide insights into the minds, motives, and consequences of murder through these in-depth interviews. If you like watching this court case or high-profile psycho killer interviews and true crime documentary videos, then please definitely subscribe to my channel, because your one like subscribing is a motivation for me and to cover new high-profile cases.
Torture.
No. Where are we going with this?
Well, I think we're going to the mind of a psychopath.
A psychopath?
Void of empathy, mercy, or decency.
Narcissistic?
Psychotically so.
You're nuts.
I killed him with it.
Now awaiting a death sentence in Florida, Hilton says he's finally ready to come clean.
I'm gonna give you a news scoop. I did it. I'm confessing to a murder on camera.
And reveal what really happened to his victims.
She said something that really grabbed me.
What'd she say? It's the last chapter of an American crime saga. Do you hate women?
Yes and no. Yes.
And our last chance to look inside the mind of one of the country's most terrifying serial killers. You have the power to haunt our dreams.
Yes.
Turn them into nightmares. Do you enjoy having that kind of power over us?
You know, in a perverse kind of way, I do.
By now, I've come face to face with my share of killers. They've been deranged, troubled, violent. Their heinous crimes defined by a lifetime of hate or a split second of evil. But nothing could have prepared me for the likes of Gary Michael Hilton. New questions tonight about 2007. At the ripe age of 61 years old, Gary Hilton made national headlines by launching a shocking murder spree in an unexpected crime scene, the sprawling wilderness of America's national forests. Over 4 months, he abducted, raped, murdered, and decapitated unsuspecting hikers, terrifying park visitors across the country. With Hilton lurking in the woods, no one was safe. It was like something out of a horror movie. Wearing a makeshift mask, Hilton used his victims' ATM cards in the aftermath of each grisly murder. Then, in January 2008, a massive manhunt led to his capture.
The cab 911, what's the exact location?
I had the person of interest in that missing woman case is at this Chevron gas station. He's throwing stuff in the dumpster here. I can go take him down if you want.
No, sir, stay right there.
Here comes the cops.
Yeah. Police are there?
Yes. They got him.
Hilton's arrest made national news and brought an end to the carnage.
Cops tracked this guy down and captured him.
61-year-old Gary Michael Hilton now sits in a county jail.
Charged with abducting and killing 24-year-old Meredith Emerson.
The suspect in this case is also a possible suspect in other murders.
His interrogation brought into focus a terrifying villain.
Once you've taken someone, you're either going to kill them or you're going to get caught.
Wickedly intelligent, boastful of his crimes,
I'm the one that killed the girl. Okay, I'm the one that killed her.
and contemptuous of his victims.
I didn't kill them because for any satisfaction. It was distasteful. It was dreadful. Trust me, it was. Of course, I was able to do it because of my general rage against society. Of course.
Hilton pleaded guilty to murdering 24-year-old Meredith Emerson in Georgia, as well as John and Irene Bryant, an elderly couple in North Carolina. He was also tried, convicted, and sentenced to death for the murder of 46-year-old Cheryl Dunlap in Florida, a crime to which he has never confessed, until now. Today, he awaits execution after more than a decade on Florida's death row. But questions remain about Hilton's terrifying rampage. Many only he can answer. At 61 years old, he claims he became America's oldest serial killer. What caused him to snap? Why did he do it? Are there other victims? Despite all the attention, Hilton has never before spoken to the media.
Okay, so the clock starts now. 10:42. Good? Good. We have exactly 60 minutes.
It was my first interview with a murderer sentenced to die. After all these years, why did Hilton finally want to talk? And what would he now reveal? Here you are on death row.
Yes.
Talking for the first time publicly about your crimes.
That's right.
We're here today, sir, to try and understand the mindset and motivations behind your actions in these cases. You're 78 years old now, right?
Yes.
In poor health, you say?
Yes, very poor health. That's one reason I'm doing this, because I'm going to die soon. I have a congestive heart failure.
Tell me in your own words, why are you breaking your silence?
Well, you hit it right on the head. And I also, an answer is, I don't know. All I can say is, it's time. After 17 years, after ignoring innumerable requests from every kind of person in the world, it's time. That's the way I feel. It's time, after 17 years, to break my silence.
In our correspondence, you said, I think I'm prepared to give you an interview that's a lollapalooza. It'll knock your socks off.
Yes.
I will answer any question about any subject truthfully and completely.
Yes.
Can I count on you for that?
You sure can.
You said, be prepared to meet a whole different breed of cat. What breed exactly?
Well, I'm just like no one else, really, you know.
Serial killer?
They're a dime a dozen.
Psychopath?
No.
Sociopath?
I have part of that in me.
In the years since his murder spree, Hilton's infamy has seemingly only grown. He's been the subject of documentaries and internet lore.
This is the case of Gary Hilton.
His crimes spanned 3 states and millions of acres of pristine national forests, and terrorized hikers everywhere. What did you think when the media dubbed you the National Forest serial killer?
I think I prefer the Beast of Blood Mountain.
The Beast of Blood Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Does that give you a sense of accomplishment?
No.
Bound by chains and shackled to a violent past, Hilton may look different now after 12 years on death row. But he's about to give his first interview ever and open a window into a mind deranged since childhood.
From a child, a little child, I was always fascinated with death and destruction and guns and war. As a child, at 5, 6 years old, constantly, I've just always been fascinated with it.
Born in Atlanta and raised in Florida by his mother and stepfather, Hilton's troubled and violent mind was evident as a teenager. 4 minutes into the police interrogation, you call yourself a sociopath. You remember that? You said, I'm a sociopath.
And I'm like what they call an antisocial. That's the new name for it, an antisocial personality. In my day, it was called sociopathic character disorder.
Were you diagnosed as a sociopath?
As a matter of fact, I was.
At age 14, Hilton fired a shotgun at his stepfather, nearly killing him. Authorities ordered a mental evaluation.
At 14, I was seeing the head of the Dade County Child Guidance Clinic, who was a psychiatrist. I saw him for a year or two, and he just flat told me.
What did he tell you?
You have a sociopathic character disorder.
Hilton had other textbook markers for psychopathy and a condition called paraphilia, an obsession with violent sexual fantasies. You admit to paraphilia? Strong.
That's one of the reasons I am a killer. I've had strong paraphilia all my life. When I accidentally discovered masturbation, my paraphilia, as I was doing it for years, it was a battlefield, and they were women nude, and they were spread over a tree stump, and I would come along with a sword.
Hilton went on to describe vile acts against women.
That's how you would get off.
This is my first sexual feelings.
His adulthood was marked by a string of failed marriages and short-lived jobs, until in middle age he found himself broke, homeless, and alone. But for the pet dogs, he says he felt closer to than any human being.
You have an odd relationship with dogs. You seem more bonded with dogs than with the people in your life, in your family.
A million times more.
Is that fair? Yeah? You told police, in the wolf world, there are no assault and battery laws, there are no murder laws.
Right.
Imagine such a world where there are no murder laws.
Yes, that's the world they live in.
But in reality, in the real world, you're not a wolf, you're a human being, and she's an innocent stranger, so why murder Meredith Emerson?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a good question.
What's the answer?
It's not clear exactly when Gary Hilton decided to start stalking and killing people, but it is known that for years he frequented national parks in multiple states in his white van, posing as an ordinary hiker.
What you doing out here? Well, you're the poor person to come along. Emma, didn't ask me that.
At some point in his middle age, a lifetime of madness and failure had pushed him over the edge.
Outside of crime, your life is utterly unremarkable.
That's true.
That's fair?
A complete abject failure, a nothing, a nobody who never achieved anything, that never followed through on anything, who is a failure at everything.
Except killing.
Well, that started when I was 61.
In January 2008, Hilton was scouting the trails of Georgia's Blood Mountain for human prey. He was armed with a bayonet, a police baton, and a friendly red retriever named Dandy.
Chattahoochee National Forest. 750,000 acres of thick woodlands in the North Georgia mountains. At what point did you first spot Meredith? Can you remember?
Yeah, I was coming down off the Blood Mountain Trail, and she was just coming up, and she had stopped and opened up her little collapsible dog bowl.
24-year-old Meredith Emerson was hiking with her dog on that day. The recent University of Georgia graduate was just settling into a new career and a bright future when she crossed paths with evil.
She fit the profile, single.
Oh, definitely good looking.
Single woman.
Yeah, good looking, young, and everything.
Unlikely to resist, or so you thought? You told police that your MO was to lurk and sometimes watch with binoculars from a distance, just like a hunter would.
Yeah. The Blood Mountain Trail is the most used day hiking trail in the state of Georgia. So on the one hand, that makes it an excellent hunting ground. On the other hand, it makes it no good because there's so many witnesses.
You positioned yourself at the intersection of two trails, right?
No, I was just coming down off the trail and boom, there she was.
At what point did you decide she was the one you were going to strike?
I'd already decided the instant I saw her.
Closing the distance to Meredith on the trail was easy with the help of Hilton's dog, Dandy.
You deploy your unwitting accomplice, Dandy, right? The icebreaker?
I mean, you can't help but not use him. He's so lovable and everything.
Well, you told police that was part of the strategy.
You see, it's reverse anthropomorphism. Rather than assigning human qualities to an animal, they assign animal qualities to humans. So he's got his laughing, lovable golden retriever. He must be okay.
Right.
Reverse anthropomorphism.
Some men use dogs to meet women that way. You use your dog to meet victims that way. It worked on her, right? Now you're walking up towards the summit on the trail in close proximity. The presence of so many other people on the trail didn't dissuade you?
I'm telling you, it should have. I walked up the trail with her for a ways, and several people saw me with her.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, one guy, and it turns out that he was law enforcement. Yeah. One guy said, "Are you with her?" And I said, "No." That should have killed it right there.
Moments later, alone with Meredith on the trail, the former Army soldier brandished his bayonet blade and prepared to strike. But subduing her wouldn't be nearly as easy as he expected. Meredith Emerson was trained in martial arts and ready for the aging maniac.
You confront her with the bayonet. She attacks the weapon.
She shocked me. She had real quick hands, and she grabbed the knife blade. She cut her head slightly. Like I said, the bayonet was not sure. She grabbed it, and I was so slack, I was like lollygagging around. Didn't have a good, firm grip on it. And she twisted it right out of my hand.
So she disarms you.
But she loses control of the bayonet, too, at the same time.
Now you know you've badly miscalculated. You resort to your second go-to weapon, the police baton.
And she just proceeded to grab the baton and took that out of my hand.
So now you're getting your ass kicked by a girl in the woods.
No.
Sounds like it.
Not at all.
Really?
I sensed at this moment that pressing Hilton might help reveal just how prideful and heartless he is. To get inside his head, I needed to get under his skin.
What do you think?
You're armed, she's not. You have, 40 or 50 pounds on her. Not very manly of you, Mr. Hilton. You pick a weak victim. An Army soldier would call that a punk move.
No one was there but her and me, and I'm telling you frankly, even the best of us have bad days. Okay? And no, it wasn't a punk move, because guess what happened then? After she took the bat, she took the bayonet, what happened then?
You had to hand fight her, you said.
And what happened then?
Well, you overpowered her just barely, it sounds like.
No, not just barely.
No?
Where did you get that at?
Well, you said to the police, I had to hand fight her. I probably have multiple fractures in my right hand.
Yes, that's right.
I still couldn't get control of her. She would feign or pretend that I was in control and then start fighting again. So I had to hit her a number of times. Straight punches to the face or the head.
Right, but I had control of her. I had her with my left hand the whole time. So what happened? I beat her ass.
Can I ask you this? Empathy, mercy, decency, did those ideas ever register with you at all?
Yes. I have 4 different personalities. A soldier, a scientist, an artist, and a comedian.
Hilton says he has multiple personalities, to which he ascribes 4 respective professions, though he is qualified in none.
The soldier and the scientist, they're totally rational, unemotional. The artist is concerned with textures and feelings and emotions, and the comedian wants to make people happy. The soldier personality is emotionless. Kill them all, let God sort them out. That's the soldier mentality.
Is it possible that all that talk about being an Army soldier was delusional on your part?
No.
No?
No. I've been tested too many times. I've been in too many fights for over 20 years.
Hilton forcibly abducted Meredith Emerson and chained her to the chassis inside his white van. While Meredith languished, a massive search was underway to find her that garnered widespread media attention. But the scale of the crime scene, nearly 1 million acres of Georgia's Chattahoochee National Forest, was daunting.
No trace yet of a missing 24-year-old Gwinnett County woman.
We were there from sun up to sundown.
Meredith Emerson could do anything. If anybody can survive this, she can.
We haven't found anything here yet.
The community rallies.
Yeah, I thought this would just passed unnoticed. Just another hiker missing in the mountains, man. No big deal. Maybe a paragraph in the paper. Good grief.
Suddenly, the investigation was blown wide open. Police pick up a digital trail as Meredith repeatedly sends Hilton to ATM machines with the wrong PIN number, signaling his location. Hilton is publicly identified as the prime suspect, last seen by witnesses with Meredith Emerson alive. The race is on to rescue Meredith and apprehend Hilton.
It is going to be a white male between the ages of 50 and 60 years old.
But the next discovery would change everything.
The body of 84-year-old Irene Bryant was discovered on November 9th in the North Carolina woods, and her husband, 80-year-old John, is still missing.
It turns out that Meredith Emerson is not the first person attacked on Hilton's killing spree, only the latest.
You never intended to let her go.
Never.
Now, you keep pointing to robbery, but that sure seems like a pretext for what you described as paraphilia. Was that just an excuse to torture and kill people?
No. Torture and kill people?
Yeah.
Hold on. Torture? I didn't torture anybody.
You kidnap people, chain them up in your car, you beat them to death, you rape them. Most people would regard that as torture.
No. Where are we going with this?
Well, I think we're going to the mind of a psychopath.
A psychopath?
Devoid of empathy, mercy, or decency.
Narcissistic?
Psychotically so.
You're nuts.
I'm nuts.
Yes, you are nuts.
Okay.
All day above Blood Mountain, the State Patrol's infrared detectors scanned for body heat below.
The search for Meredith Emerson made national headlines and was a desperate race against time.
Do everything we can do to make sure that if she's up there, that we get her out of there safely.
Police now knew who took her and which way he was driving. They also knew that Hilton could snap at any moment.
It's a missing persons investigation right now, and that's how we're pursuing it.
And the scale of the investigation had expanded to 3 states when police realized that Meredith Emerson wasn't Hilton's first victim, only the latest.
The body of 84-year-old Irene Bryant was discovered on November 9th in the North Carolina woods, and her husband, 80-year-old John, is still missing.
4 months earlier, John and Irene Bryant had just arrived at Pisgah National Forest in North Carolina. The retired couple were 80 and 84 years old, but fit and young at heart, and avid hikers. But on this day, the Bryants walked onto the trailhead and into an ambush. 61-year-old drifter Gary Hilton was armed and lying in wait.
Irene and John Bryant, right? October 2007.
Yeah.
Hilton has never discussed exactly what happened to the Bryants until now.
The crime scene is North Carolina's Pisgah National Forest, 500,000 acres, with hundreds of miles of hiking trails. At what point did you spot the 2 octogenarians?
When they got out of their car at the trailhead.
In the parking lot?
Yeah. It was just a little parking lot.
And why them? Were there no lone girls out there that day to pick on?
No. I violated one of my rules. I said no couples, because 2 murders would generate a lot of publicity. I was down to 1 Ritalin, 2 spoons of coffee, $2. I'd been living out of dumpsters from a picnic area for 2 weeks. I'd lost a ton of weight. I think I was probably about down to 140. And I just said, hey, this has got to stop. And I had to take someone.
What do you mean when you say you had to take someone?
To get money.
For robbery purposes?
Oh, well, yes. I'm going to stake out this trailhead, and the first person that shows up goes.
It was the Bryants?
Yes.
Okay. What happens next?
So I kind of geared up, and so I said to John Bryant, you know what? We're going to take your credit card and run it. And he said, I'll go to hell. And he just brushed right past me. And I deployed the baton and hit him on the back of his left knee. So the guy whirls around. He was a big guy, a big, strong man, just as big as can be. He whirls around, he's carrying this trekking stick, this hiking stick that they love to carry. So he goes after me with that. So I just brushed it away, and then whack, hit him on the side of the head, then pulled out a pepper, sprayed him in the face. He steps forward a few feet and goes down.
Where was Irene?
She was a few feet ahead of him. And then he does the craziest thing. I can't believe this. He said, Irene, I can't see. Hit him. Well, I just beaten him down. And he's a big guy, 6 foot plus. And now he's telling his wife to fight me. And bless her heart, Irene, she was all heart.
She comes at you.
She springs right into a fencing position, like on guard, and pow, and stabs me in the chest. I go, ah. And I brush it to one side and whack, hit her with the expander. She goes down. Then I'm going to take him with me. Bryant never gets up, but he does another crazy thing. While he's sitting there, he pulls his wallet out, and he takes his credit cards out, and he throws them. Inexplicable.
Did you abduct both of them at that point?
No. I only abducted him. She wouldn't get in the van.
So what'd you do to her?
Well, I put him in the van, locked him in the van, closed the door, and I went back over to her a few feet away. She knew what was coming, and she said, I'm not getting in the van. The police always tell you, don't get in the vehicle. You're as good as dead. And she says, I'm not getting in the van. I gave her my Dirty Harry voice. I said, you're not getting in the van. She said, no. And I immediately laid into her. I beat her, and her blood blew up and hit me in the eyes, and it turned my vision red. Oh, nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty.
Hilton dumped Irene Bryant's body near the trail and held a battered John Bryant captive in his white van. He masked his face with duct tape and used the Bryant's ATM card to withdraw his payday for murder and kidnapping. $300.
There are easier ways to get money.
There are.
So you were...
It was all stupid, very stupid.
I mean, yielding what, a few $100 over the course of 6 months?
It was all very stupid. The smart thing to do would be to take people in parking lots, okay?
What about getting a job and earning some money? Don't take anybody.
I'm 61 years old. I'm sick with MS. I'm burned out. I have no resume. I'm going to walk into a phone room looking for a job as a telemarketer.
Better than going out there killing innocent people, right?
Well, robbing a bank was better than that. No, there's no practical way of working.
Hilton then drove John Bryant deep into yet another national park, the Nantahala National Forest, to end his life.
I wanted to get him a little further away because there were some houses within earshot. But John tried to run from me, and he fell down an embankment, and he caught his arm between two trees and broke it right here. So I tried to get him up, and he couldn't get up like that. So, I had the pistol in my pocket. I just, shot him in the side of the head, through and through shot.
John and Irene Bryant left 4 children and 11 grandchildren behind. For the next few weeks, Hilton was in between murders, what criminologists called the serial killer's cooling off period.
Can you explain to me what happens in your mind in that cooling off period?
I'm putting the future out of my mind. I have future foreshortening. I just get up every day and go hiking.
You're not thinking about it at all?
trying not to.
Is the appetite for it rebuilding over the course of weeks in between?
There was never an appetite for it.
Well, how can that be?
Because I told you, as soon as I started this, I said no.
Well, why didn't you stop then, as soon as you started it?
Well, I didn't see any alternative.
What do you mean?
That's what I mean. And if that sounds illogical, well, that was my state of mind.
Your mindset was that you couldn't see a way forward without continuing to kill?
Yes.
Just weeks after murdering the Bryants in North Carolina, Hilton was yet again broke and out for blood.
Please definitely subscribe to my channel, because your one like subscribing is a motivation for me and to cover new high-profile cases.